quick thoughts before we wrap up out here. Joe, let's get to Auburn really quickly.
Okay.
What is going on in the Plains at Auburn? Look, we're not going to break the game down against Arkansas, but I think it's more important that we talk about Auburn here. What is going on here?
I don't know. I kind of leaning on saying this week because this is probably one of the weirdest weeks that we're going to have in college football this season, which I say that now and we're probably going to get crazier. It's one of those weeks where it's hard to truly wrap your head around an issue. And that's kind of the case here with Auburn. There's so many problems with them at quarterback. And that's such a broad statement. You've got one guy throwing 3 picks. You got Peyton Thorpe coming back, throwing 1 as well. Those issues, those mistakes certainly are on the quarterback for making those throws. But I'm not going to waste my time criticizing those players. The criticism has to go on Hugh Freeze. Making the statement and throwing his players under the bus saying that we need to find a quarterback who doesn't turn the football over. It's a ridiculous statement. You're the head coach.
Well, you could have done that. It's called the portal.
Well, so there's that. But the biggest thing is that if your team is this undisciplined, there was a whole lack of discipline on the entire field. If you're going to call out players on your team, call out the entire team. But more importantly, call out yourself for not preparing your team to be focused and to not make stupid mistakes. I hate this when head coaches do this. And I like Hugh Freeze. I'm a little bit out on him right now. I don't know if he has control over this team to the degree that we would have hoped and would have thought that he had going into his second year, because this is a mess. This is a disastrous, or is turning into a disastrous mess. The wheels are falling off a little bit. It might not look like that just yet, and I might be freaking out a little bit too early, but it's problematic when your head coach is making those statements, trying to recruit a Deuce Knight to come in. Why the hell, if you're a young kid who is trying to make it to the NFL and be a great college player, why would I want to go play for somebody who's going to bail on me in a press conference when I make mistakes? It's horrible. It's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit that he's acting like this and he's not taking responsibility for doing a terrible job of preparing his team against an Arkansas team with a head coach who's on the hot seat.
Well, he might not be on the hot seat no more.
He's buying him. You just saved Sam Pittman's job potentially. That's how insane of a game that was.
Well, I'm going to push back on one thing. I don't think that they played very bad defensively. I mean, Joe, you gave up 4.
No.
You had 4 turnovers that you gave Arkansas the ball back. Relatively, I know that Taylor Green had some really good runs. Wasn't he 11 of 26? He had his So, Joe, we talked about in the offseason. I thought their front seven was going to be pretty good. Joe, they were pretty good. I mean, they were.
Yeah.
You should have gone and gotten a quarterback in the portal. And why he is hitched his wagon to Peyton Thorne is beyond me. But, Joe, he lost a lot of staff after year 1. There was rumors. I don't know any of this to be true, but there were a lot of rumors out there as to why that defensive personnel left him. Look, man, I think that they have a massive issue. And by the way, their schedule's
it's going to get harder. This was supposed to be one of the gimmies. So was Cal.
That's the thing. Okay, is like you're not winning the games that you're supposed to win. And that's the problem. And you don't. Let me ask you this, though. Is Hugh Freeze wrong in what he said?
He's not wrong, but it's not something you say out loud.
I agree
to
with
young
that.
Men.
I agree with that. I 100% agree with that.
It's cowardly coaching. It's cowardly coaching.
He's
Have some nuts.
Somebody else besides him. And look, man, Hugh needed to prove a lot of people wrong after the Hooker allegations. I mean, look, I'm just being honest. It's true.
He's a shitty guy. I can't believe I got bought into this. He's just a shitty person. I don't say that. I don't care.
Well, that happened at Ole Miss. Then you have, I have messages from Hugh Freeze. Like, Joe, when I started out in this business, I have multiple DMs from Hugh Freeze saying that, crazy stuff. Like, absolutely ridiculous stuff when he was out of coaching. But listen, they got to go in the portal and get a quarterback. I mean, I do, because here's the thing, man. They ran the ball relatively well.
Mm-hmm.
They ran the ball relatively well. And when you turn the football over that much, and here's the question, you know what? That's on you too, in a sense, that you're still throwing it that much when you're running the football the way that you are.
Well, can I bring this up though? If I'm a portal quarterback and I'm hitching my wagon to a guy and I've got 2 years of eligibility left and I'm trying to make it to the NFL, why am I doing it to the guy who's going to, again, I just said this a second ago, I'm repeating myself here. Why would I want to put faith in somebody who is going to turn on me if I have a bad game? It is impossible. Look, any of us here is just human beings. As young, anyone who at one point was young and working, if you've ever been in a job, and I've been in these situations before, where a boss, all they do is blame you for mistakes instead of coaching you and helping you improve as an early 20-something, that's, first of all, a shitty job on their part, but it destroys your confidence. It completely does. As much as those mistakes were on Peyton Thorne, and the other kid's name is completely escaping me, but as much as those mistakes were on them,
Hank Brown.
You can't publicly do that. Just like your boss should never publicly shame you in a meeting with your coworkers, because it's just completely destroying you could be the toughest SOB out there. It's going to destroy your mental self-image of what you're capable of doing. It's always going to be in the back of your head. It's only going to get worse. I really think that this is the start of this thing really falling apart. I really do. BetOnline remains your top spot for all of your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, NHL are all in full swing. BetOnline is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today and use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for 50% off your first deposit. That is a 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts.